Their driving run done, but lots of bobsledding coming up as we bring you the World Four-Man Bobsled Championship from Cervinia, Italy. Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Lewis. Welcome to Cervinia, Italy, and to the Arrivo Curve, the last of 17 curves on this World Championship track. Now imagine 4 men tucked into a rocket-shaped bobsled speeding around this corner at 85 miles per hour. Not here, but 10 feet above my head on this vertical wall of ice. It seems unbelievable, but there are 14 countries represented here in the 19th World Championships. With a closer look, let's go to the top and my colleague, two-time U.S. Olympic bobsled driver, Paul Lambie.
Greg, the weather conditions here at the top of the hill are absolutely perfect, and the track is in great condition. But the big story is the fact that Wolfgang Hoppe, the East German, who won 2 gold medals in Sarajevo last year, crashed in his last heat of training and has been eliminated from competition. Let's take a look at that crash. Here they are at the halfway point on the course, the fastest part of the course, where this big sled is reaching speeds of up to 85 miles an hour. This is the big right-hand turn that lines him up for the infamous Bianca corner. He's in on time. He's off late. He's on his side, banging all the way down. Watch him bang here. Look at that sled climb up on that wall, hits the lip, which knocks it back down. The heads bang up against that left-hand wall. They're on their sides. They're through the finish. No one seriously hurt. Everybody on the sled. This most unforgiving track in Cervinia has claimed the best in the world. Hoppe may not be here, but the East Germans are still favored to win. Driving the #1 East German sled will be Bernhard Lehman. This 36-year-old silver medalist at the Olympics in Sarajevo would sure like to win a gold here. And driving the East German #2 sled, Detlef Richter, the winner of the 2- and 4-man World Cup here last year. If there's anyone that can catch the East Germans in this championship, it'll be the Swiss. And the one driving the #1 Swiss sled is Silvio Giobellina. He was the bronze medalist at the Olympic Games in Sarajevo last year.
And Giobellina is challenging. The East Germans are in the lead after 2 of 4 runs down this track, but Giobellina only 29 hundredths behind. In third, East German #2, and in fourth, Swiss #2. Let's take a look at the track.
Greg, this is a natural ice course. It's 1 mile in length, has a 450-foot drop, a total of 17 curves, and the big 4-man sleds will reach speeds of up to 85 miles an hour on this course.
And it's the lower half of the course that is the most demanding, especially the curves Azzurra Bianca. As Paul, you recall, you almost flipped there.
That's right, Greg, I remember it well, but that was back in 1971, and I was very lucky to pull it out that day. Here, the Soviets in their second run were not quite so lucky. They're in the lower labyrinth, building up speed, taking the big Azzurra turn, which lines them up for the Bianca turn. He looks perfect going into Bianca, stayed on the turn a little too long, rolled over on his side, and they're on their heads the rest of the way down. Every man in that sled is trying desperately to hold on and stay within the cocoon, if you will, of that sled so that they don't go flying out and really get injured. And all 4 men did stay within the sled as they went through the finish line, and so they did receive an official time. However, they withdrew from the competition.
The action just beginning here. We'll be back with more of the 4-man Bob World Championship.
I've never been in a room so hot. It's like a sauna.
We're sorry, sir. We're having troubles with the heat.
No, I'm having a problem with the heat. There's got to be a way to turn it down.
We've had a number of complaints. The thermostat's behind the drape.
Behind the drape?
You'll find a plastic knob with little gold numbers.
Great.
And just turn it to the left, and in just a few minutes, your room will be cool and comfortable.
Next time, Ramada.
Sir.
Where they know how to take care of business.
Sir.
I'm not going to go buy the squeeze spray anymore. Nostrella is what I'm going to buy.
12-hour Nostrella is the most advanced relief you can give your nose.
The 12-hour Nostrella cleared my sinuses, and I could breathe again.
Nostrella has the most effective decongestant sold without prescription.
I'm not stuffed up anymore.
The Nostrella one-way metered pump delivers an exact dose every time. Squeeze sprays don't.
It works for me.
Get Nostrella, the most advanced relief you can give your nose. Also available as Nostril, regular strength and mild.
It was incredible out there today. I had to work for every point. My muscles feel sore, but they won't for long because I've got Bengay. You can feel it working right away. You know, I also use Bengay before I play. It helps me warm up and play more comfortably, longer. And that can make the difference. Like today.
Bengay before and Bengay after. Feel better with Bengay.
You can feel it working right away.
At the top right now, the driver of the East German #2 sled Detlef Richter. We remember him well, Paul, winning the 2- and 4-man competition last year here in the World Cup Bobsledding Championship.
Detlef has a very good starting team. Let's see how they get in that 4-man sled as they push off the top of the mountain. The driver is in, number 2 man follows him, 3, and the brakeman settles down.
The time for the first 50 meters, 5.45, only 5/100ths off the fastest time. East Germans, extremely good pushers.
Going through the big Cristallo turn at the top of the mountain, this is where the sleds are going very slowly, picking up speed as they go through the small labyrinth. A mistake here, a little tap, a skid can be very costly.
As a race driver said to me, the difference between racing cars and bobsledding is, in a car we can brake. In this, they're always going faster and faster and faster.
And it's right at this point in the course that they are reaching those faster speeds. Going into the Azura corner now, lining himself up for the Bianca turn, in perfectly, and out perfectly, straight as an arrow, nice and clean, going down to the finish.
Detlef Richter is on a record-setting pace here. His time, 1:03:31. It is a new track record. His 3-run time puts him in first place, 3:11.44. The East Germans still dominating this track. Their super high-tech sled has done the job again. And now at the top, this is Silvio Giobellina, Swiss #1 driver. He only weighs 155 pounds. An enthusiastic start, but with his size, he cannot push quite as strong as some of the other drivers.
But he gets an awful lot of help from those 3 men behind him, Greg, and he does have a very fast and good competitive start. Look at that, 5:52 as he goes into the Cristallo turn.
And now, the setup for the ever-building speed. Out of the tunnel.
Total concentration right here. All he's thinking of, attack the course and be absolutely precise. He's got to be very careful he doesn't overdrive the sled or let the sled get away from him. He's doing just that. He's straight down the middle of those straightaways where the times are slow. Now approaching the big labyrinth turns in the lower half. He's really gaining speed and beginning to fly, Greg.
Something else on Giobellina's mind. The Swiss have dominated the 4-man championship since 1924. They've won it 14 times. He wants number 15, and he wants to take it from the East Germans.
A nice kick out of the Bianca turn, straight as an arrow going into the finish turn. He's really flying, Greg.
Around the last curve, he'll finish in 1:03:61. It'll put him back into first place after 3 of 4 runs. About a 10th in front of Detlef Richter. Bernhard Lehman of East Germany yet to come, though, and now his own teammate is challenging. This is Swiss #2, Ralph Pickler at the controls, and he was the 83 World 2-man champion.
A strong starting team. Let's take a look at the rhythm and timing as they get in the sled. The driver's already settled in, number 2, number 3 man, all nice and smooth.
The fastest 50-meter start time on the lower left of your screen, 5.40. The time for Pickler's team, 5.45. Only 500 slower than the fastest, but 700 faster than his teammate, Giobellina.
Here on the upper half, where the times are slow, he's trying to drive through the bottoms of all these turns. Again, not trying to overdrive the sled, nor trying to let the sled get away from him, trying to keep it straight down those long straightaways. Now he's going into the great labyrinth, where he's picking up a lot of speed.
Remember, this track is 1 mile long, 450-foot vertical drop, 17 curves. It's a challenge every inch of the way, and it's natural ice, which is rougher than the refrigerated ice at some tracks, like Lake Placid, for example.
Lined up perfectly going into Bianca. Out of the Bianca turn. Look at that. Nice and straight, going down into that finish turn. Has a nice line through the finish turn. He's having a great time.
1:03:66, a good run, but about 5/10 slower than he would have needed to take the lead. 3-run time, 3:11.83. He's in third right now, but the man to beat is coming up, getting his sled ready. East Germany's Bernhard Lehman.
There are more and more places today where you can't smoke, like here on the job. But when I want tobacco pleasure, I still make out like a bandit with these Skoal Bandits. Skoal Bandits is tobacco in a neat little pouch. You don't chew it. You just put one between your cheek and gum and enjoy the refreshing taste wherever you are. My choice is wintergreen. The mint goes over big, too. So when you can't smoke, you can still make out like a bandit with Skoal Bandits, the little pouch of tobacco pleasure.
You are looking at the most advanced,
shock absorber that Monroe has ever made. Gasmatic, so advanced that in testing, people preferred the Gasmatic ride 3-to-1 over conventional shocks.
The difference was dramatic in the control, the stability, and the comfort.
A ride so superior, if Gasmatics don't give you the best ride ever, we'll replace them no charge. Monroe Gasmatic shocks and struts for the best ride ever, guaranteed.
I remember hearing somebody say I was dead. I thought about Janice and Bobby. Who'd take care of them now?
He's coming back.
He's all right now.
I got a second chance to do all those things I meant to do.
At Prudential, we know most of us don't get a second chance. Talk to a Prudential agent and get the peace of mind that comes with a piece of the rock.
I did.
Get a piece of the rock.
Prudential Life Insurance.
This Bud's for everyone who's got what it takes to make his own brakes.
Are we on? This is Paul Martinez reporting to you from the International Airport.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
From the International Airport, this is Paul Martinez reporting.
Thank you, Paul, and welcome to the news team.
Paul Martinez, my son.
On NBC Sports World, a rugged test of man and machine, where success is measured by the wave of a checkered flag, Stadium Supercross.
Then, on March 24th, our Olympians battle it out to determine the best in sports. Who will overcome the obstacles and outshine them all? The answer lies in the stars, the superstars on NBC.
Sumo competition, grand champion Yokozuna Takanasato now preparing for his next mark. And it wasn't too many months ago that he became a newlywed. And when a Yokozuna gets married in Japan, it is big news.
You see the size of that Yokozuna wedding cake.
Almost as big as Takanasato himself, a man who weighs 335 pounds. He's preparing now to go against Hokotenyu, and this could be a very interesting match. Hokotenyu with an 8-5 record, Takanasato 9-4. In fact, there's been some concerns that Tako has perhaps not measured up to expectations from the time he has become married.
Some say he's going through a period of readjustment, Gary, with a new wife and a house and a grand reputation to uphold.
He was Fighter of the Year a year ago. But in trouble now, Hokotenyu forcing Takanasato from the ring, and Hokotenyu's record improves to 9-5.
So we've come now to the next major test for Wakashimazu. He has won 13 consecutive bouts. He's only 2 away from an unblemished, a perfect record for this tournament. But he goes up, Pat, against an unknown opponent.
That's right. Kirishima, 8-5. And the fact that these two have never faced each other before makes it a situation where I can't wait to see what...
People milling about the track here at the World Four-Man Bobsledding Championships in Cervinia. There's been a stop in the action, a terrible crash. Klaus Kopp of West Germany, here it was.
Entered Bianca very nicely. Got off the turn late on his side. Now watch him as he goes through the finish turn. Hits that lip, does a complete pirouette in the air, comes down backwards.
They did not finish the course, so they didn't get a time, but it made no difference here. They were happy to be alive. They had crashed through the retaining wall at the top of the Arrivo curve, brought down shards of wood, jammed into the sled. No one hurt. Amazing.
On their sides going into the finish turn as they start to climb to hit that lip. One of the pushers from the side must have gotten caught right here as the sled flips. All 4 men barely able to stay in the sled as they come down literally on their heads in the bottom of the corner. You can see the wood splinters flying all over, and take a look at what the front and the side of that sled looked like when they pulled it out of the track.
A 600-pound Bob crushed like a child's plastic toy. But the race goes on again, and it's Bernhard Lehman at the top of East Germany. He must be thinking about something else as well. Another crash. The crash of Wolfgang Hoppe, gold medalist in the 2- and 4-man in Sarajevo, the best driver in the world. He went down in Azura Bianca. With Hoppe out, Lehman is the favorite, and he's still not afraid of Azura Bianca.
Ich glaube, It's not that hard, but you do have to concentrate when you take that curve. If you don't have full concentration, that's when you might tip over. Definitely, when my colleague Hopp tipped over, it made me think twice about this bend, and I did not lose my concentration, because if you go in that bend with lots of confidence, that's when you start making the mistakes. And I think my colleague just did that.
An interesting thought. Too much confidence, he blames Hoppe's crash. And they're off. Their third of 4 runs.
A great starting team, Greg. The driver is in. Number 2 man tripped a little bit going in there. All in and underway.
Lehman, a man of great experience, in 1976 won a gold medal, but he was the 4-man brakeman back then.
We're looking at 1,389 pounds of men and machine as it hurtles down the side of this mountain, right now in the upper labyrinth where the times are slow, and he cannot afford to get into any skids or taps, and you can see he's handling that sled perfectly, holding it right straight down the middle. Now going into the grand labyrinth where the speed is all made up.
At the second split, his time 2,200s faster than anyone else, and now ahead lurks Azzurra Bianca.
He is really flying. Going into the Azzurra turn, this is going to line him up for the Bianca corner. Straight, clean, into Bianca. A beautiful line out of the Bianca turn. Look at him, straight. Those little taps won't mean much. He's going much too fast.
Through the finish line, 102.97, the first man ever to break the 103 barrier. No problem with Azzurra Bianca, and Bernhard Lehman with a 310.4 for 3 runs is back in the lead again. The East Germans, extraordinary. So now the battle is for second place. Switzerland's Giobellina leading the East